Does USC have to win week 1 if they want to make the college football playoff? The answer to that question is yes. They've got Notre Dame on the schedule. They have to go to Michigan. They have to go to Washington. I think they'll beat the Huskies, but it's a road game against a team that's familiar with your program, at least at some level. Jed Fish and Lincoln Riley. Oh, yeah, they matched up last year, and Arizona could have won. Now, that team was much better than what Washington will put on the field this year, but I digress. This matchup on Sunday between USC and LSU is frankly one of the most hilarious but awesome matchups of the college football season, certainly in the first week. It's hilarious because these two programs are direct, word for word mirror images of one another. First of all, they are Southern-based schools. They are 3-letter abbreviation schools. They're replacing Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks with talented but mostly unproven, though not entirely, quarterbacks that we think are good, but we have to wait and see how they perform in a big spot. Both teams have had prolific offenses the last couple of years and have actually had good seasons, except they haven't quite reached their ceiling and the standard their fan bases hold them to. It's the third year for a high-profile head coach who was hired away from another high-profile national championship caliber program. And the expectations are starting to mount because of moves they made in the offseason on the defensive side of the ball. Why were changes made? Because they had an incompetent defensive staff the year prior. It was a historically bad year. And you're looking at new defensive coordinators who were rock stars, teams that were in your conference. You've lost receiving talent, but there is still an expected level of production there. I've never seen anything like this before. Identical. It's so great, and this is a phenomenal matchup. If USC wants to make the playoff, they have to win this game. LSU does not. There is less pressure on LSU for two reasons. Number one, LSU wasted a great offense. So if the Trojans struggle again this year, pressure is higher on Lincoln Riley than it is on Brian Kelly if he struggles, because he has back-to-back 10-win seasons. Certainly LSU fans would like to get to the playoff, and that is a goal. It's a reasonable, attainable goal. I don't know that they have it as an expectation this year, but certainly LSU is capable of getting there. We know Brian Kelly is a playoff caliber coach. We know Lincoln Riley is a playoff caliber coach. So the pressure is definitely greater on Lincoln Riley and USC. It doesn't mean if they miss the playoff, I think Lincoln Riley gets fired. I don't believe that to be the case. I like what both coaches did. They said, look, we've got a weakness. We have something we need to address. Let's kick the defensive coordinators to the curb and hire really good proven guys. Blake Baker at LSU, Danton Lynn at USC, who comes over from UCLA. If you ever wonder why I'm down on the UCLA football program, you let your stud defensive coordinator walk across town. I'm sorry. If you were serious, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the offensive coordinator at Auburn? This has not happened in my lifetime in a situation I'm aware of. I hope it hasn't, or I'm about to sound foolish, but I think I'm okay. Can you imagine a stud coordinator at Auburn who's really good suddenly getting hired by Alabama? Do you think Auburn would let that happen? No, they'd go to him and say, what do you need to stay here? We'll pay it. Because we have national championship aspirations. UCLA, I don't think is that serious about football yet. Maybe Deshaun Foster can change that. Maybe he can. I think they're going 3-9 this year, and I think 2-10 is more likely than 4-8, given the schedule they have, but I digress. So USC and LSU is a really fun matchup. This game is in Las Vegas. It was a 6.5-point spread. It has come down to 4.5. That's pretty sizable movement. Somebody or lots of somebody somewhere is very confident in USC's ability to win this game. I'm one of those people. I believe USC is going to win this football game. I think on the defensive personnel side, USC has made sizable growth from a year ago. They don't have to travel as far. LSU fans, I don't doubt their ability to travel. USC fans should be able to outnumber the Tigers at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. If not, shame on you, USC fans, because this is a big game. This is a really good team. in USC. They have the ability to go to the playoff this year. This is a team you should show up, and this is a game that you should be showing up for. So it should be closer to a home game for USC than it is for LSU. Miller Moss is not as proven as Garrett Nussmeier. He's not been around college football for quite as long. I don't remember exactly when they both came into college football off the top of my head, but Garrett Nussmeier, I believe, has attempted more passes so far in his career than Miller Moss. And I like Miller Moss and what he showed in the Holiday Bowl against Louisville. I like Garrett Nussmeier. Both guys incredibly capable. So it comes down to whose offensive staff do I trust more? Answer's USC, because Lincoln Riley is still there. Mike Denbrock is no longer the offensive coordinator at LSU. He got hired away to Notre Dame, which is part of the reason I think that Notre Dame is going to beat Texas A&M in College Station on Saturday with College Game Day in attendance and Kyle Field likely to be absolutely positively rocking. So I have more faith in USC's ability to reload on the offensive side of the ball because it's a far more proven offensive staff / play caller. And on the defensive side, I think both units take a step forward. And I think that then leaves you down to, well, which offense are you going to trust more? My answer is USC. And I think USC's personnel has been grossly misused. I think so too was LSU's. Don't get me wrong. You find plenty of blue chip talent on both defenses here that just haven't been maximizing their potential over the last couple of seasons. So I think this is a really fun, entertaining game. Excited to watch it on Sunday night. I'll certainly have a reaction show up to that one whenever it wraps up. But I like USC. I like USC in this game. 34-28. I think the first team to hold the other under 30 is going to win. Neither one of these defenses is going to suddenly become an elite unit that just dominates their conference and propels them to a conference championship. But, excuse me, are they capable of taking steps forward? The answer is yes. And I think both staffs are going to have that sort of immediate impact. And I think USC prevails 34-28. They're a 4.5-point dog. I've seen bigger underdogs than that win in college football. So that is it for today's reaction show. If you have not already, please like, comment, subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to or watch this show. I appreciate you all very much. I will have a reaction show up after the biggest games on Saturday. We'll see about what the timing is because I will be in attendance at another game, but I promise the content will continue to flow. Appreciate everyone listening. I will see you next time. And until then, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.